labor automation. Joining us today to speak about that, Divya Prakash, Director of Business Consulting, Industry 4.0 at SIG. Divya, it's good to see you. Welcome.
Thank you, Russell.
Divya, let's just talk about what's clearly been a major issue, top of mind for many, many people throughout the last couple of years of the pandemic, and that is the labor shortage. What's going on? What are the challenges there? Walk us through that.
Yeah, labor is one of the key components in all the supply chain issues that we are seeing lately, right, is access to labor. And so the industry right now is struggling right now as we are moving towards e-fulfillment, a lot of online shopping, as you're saying, and things moving at a faster pace, and then also visibility into your entire supply chain, from source all the way to the customer, tracking those out there. So what we're seeing in the industry, a lot more automation coming into this space, and not just automation like the traditional automation, which was like conveyors and other aspects moving out there. Now it's a lot of looking at aspects like autonomous vehicles, autonomous guidance, and smart sensors that are reading and acting intelligently based and making decisions and taking some actions with intelligence built into the sensor itself. So there's a lot of technology advancements has taken place. There's a whole new fourth industrial revolution going on right now all over, that bringing in the internet technology and the connectivity and this access to sensors. So automation we are looking towards automation to bail us out of this labor shortage, and so automate as much as possible, whatever that is repeatable task, and have them done it reliably, safely, with minimum waste, and get access, do it effectively in a faster time.
Let me ask you something else though about the labor shortage that we are experiencing. Is it fair to say that even prior to the pandemic, prior to the lockdown, that the labor situation was already changing? A number of people were leaving the warehouses and other portions of the supply chain because they were opting to do other things. And now it's of course been exacerbated by the pandemic. Do you see the labor situation flatlining as we go forward, or do you think that we might see a drop off? What do you think's happening with the
I think it's going to modify right now, because the kind of labor that you're looking at right now, the new generation that's coming in, that they are more, social media savvy, more, you've seen it around. I mean, I have kids, I've seen them. They're more up to using technology, and so they're not afraid of technology than the earlier generation that moved around, and we did things literally manually, right? So the adoption of technology, you'll see the type of labor force that's coming in is going to modify. So I don't think it'll taper off as such. You said the jobs will change, will adapt to using the newer technology. So it'll be a newer, smarter, not smarter, I would say, smarter is a relative term, using newer technologies. And so the labor force will be a little bit more computer savvy, technology savvy,
and much more
comfortable with working with them. And the other things which we are saying is even the younger generation that's coming, I call it the Twitter generation, right? So they want instant notifications, they want instant ideas of point them in the right direction, what the problem is, and how to resolve it. So even the diagnosis and how we preventive maintenance, they want a lot of stuff, and which is coming in now with the newer technologies, the artificial intelligence, the machine learning. So we see a lot of the workforce changing, the operation changing, a lot of newer stuff coming in, and so we see that in the long term.
Let's turn to robotics. I want to talk about that technology and how it may help labor automation. What do you say?
Well, robots have been around for quite a while, right? But robots were earlier, steady, once stationary. They did a good job, but they did one job continuously very well. But now with technology advancements, especially with a lot of sensors coming in, especially for us in my company, SIG as well. We have added vision to the robots. Now they can see, and the new generation is now we have added mobility to them. Now they can move around. So there's not just the traditional robots used to be in one spot, and picking and doing all the other stuff, which is still, they do a good job doing that. But now we just moved it around, gave them mobility, we gave them vision so they can see, they can pick things, go act. So that is a trend that we see will be coming more and more. So it's not just a repeatable task that they used to do earlier. Now they're getting intelligence tasks. And then there's cobots, which work along with the operators safely, and that's an area that we see a lot, and then we are working a lot on that too, is how do we run safely, both human being and robots running side by side on the shop floor and moving forward. So automation is going to play, robots are going to play a big role.
You've just mentioned some very, very interesting trends that we see. That would be the vision, the mobility, the cobotic situation with humans working alongside of robots, etc. Any other interesting and dynamic trends that you see in the marketplace?
Yeah. The other thing is, I mentioned earlier of running safely. So robots have to run safety. So earlier we used to do a lot of safety, and that's an area that we are very passionate about. Running safely, reliably. So traditional methods was safe, gating, putting fences around this robots running and other aspects. And again, as I said, technological advancements. Now we are going with fenceless, with a lot of sensors out there that can measure presence. You can slow things down when, as a human approaches them, or shut them down. They come within a threshold. So you see a lot of these, because you need square footage, right? You can't fence out a whole area. That means you're getting a whole lot of the square footage of your warehouse or any manufacturing facilities. You're losing that. So going with a process like this we see another trend out there. So yeah, that's another area that we see coming out there.
So Divya, let's bring it on home. The viewer wants to know a little something about SICK and what it is doing to optimize the operations of its client base, its customer base. So what would you tell them?
Yeah, so SICK, as our tagline says, sensor intelligence, right? And we say sensor is where the foundation of Industry 4.0 is coming. That's where the rubber meets the road, using an automotive term. So that's where you have connection to your actual operations process. So sensors play a, if you have to use an example, you're building a house, but before you build a house, you have to look at your foundation. You can't build a house without a strong foundation. Well, sensors provide the foundation on which you build up your solution, your entire supply chain solution. So that's where you get real-time feedback from where you are, how things are happening on the shop floor, getting that going. So that is what. So our sensors are not just sensing. They are now smart sensors. So they also have intelligence. They have a lot of computing power inside them. They have microprocessors inside them. And so it's not just taking the raw data that you're picking from sensors, they're adding some contextual information to it and making it actionable data. So making it into information right there. And then those things are getting even more sophisticated with new technologies like deep learning, artificial intelligence. We can build a neural model of what's going on in the in your process, and then download that straight into the sensors itself. So you see a lot of advancement that you'll see that in some of our products coming through as well. And then that allows you to connect now into your business systems, or as we say, from shop floor to data floor. You can take data across, and we have solutions all the way from the smart sensors down below, but also intelligent edge gateways to take the data all the way up to your business system, and then if needed, all the way up into the cloud for big data analysis, which is what a lot of people are doing today.
Very, very important there, Divya. When we're swimming in an ocean of data, to be able to take that and make it actionable. Great stuff, and very interesting presentation. Thank you so much for finding the time to sit down and speak with us. Thank you.
Thank you, Russell. My pleasure.
Divya Prakash, SICK, speaking with us today about labor automation. Interesting area in your warehouse. Thanks for watching.